These opposition think they gon' win, well we gon' see. People say there ain't no I in team, but if we go to adding.
Hey.
We both jamming, huh?
Both of us just on here vibing. Just like we do every single Monday. Welcome to LacedUp Live, everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining in. We really, really appreciate you guys coming in every single Monday, normally at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. But, you know, we're doing a little I'm kind of dabbling in the Sark After Dark type of vibe right now, you know, like dabbling in the, let's see how these, you know, I'm more of a night owl anyway. So like, yeah. I mean, how are we vibing with the night vibes? Like how night cat, laced up night cat.
I like it. I like it a lot, yeah.
I mean, obviously this wasn't necessarily intentional. It just kind of life was life for us today. Life was life for us today, unfortunately. But you know what? Hey, it is Monday, and we say it every single Monday. It's Monday.
Yep, sure.
And you know what? The one way to make it better is to join in on Laced Up every single Monday night. That's the best way to make your Monday every single Monday better.
Facts.
So I know it makes my Monday better. I get excited. I love coming on here and talking ball. I get excited about it. Well, because it's like definitely. It's different, you know. I feel like our show is just so different and dope. Like we just sit and banter. We just talk shit back and forth, you know.
Yeah, no, I like it. You got a nice vibe. You know what I mean? Got a nice connect.
Nice connect.
Like we're gonna see Quinn and receivers have a nice connect on Saturday, but we'll get to that later.
Period. We're gonna get to that in a little bit because we've got our 2024 season predictions at the freaking ready. I am so freaking excited. Like y'all, how is it that it feels like January was literally yesterday, but it also feels like we haven't had football in 8 freaking years, and I'm just so freaking excited for it. Like, is that just me? Is that like?
I'm excited. Like, this is dope. Like, man, it's like Christmas. Like, you wait all year for it, and then it's like the year kind of goes by fast, and then it's here before you know it. I feel the same way right now.
It's like Christmas week, like the week leading up to it. You get really, really excited. You get. Sorry, I forgot to mute my phone. Whoopsies. Yeah. But no, that's exactly what it feels like. You know, you get excited as a kid, you know, waking up Christmas morning to go open presents and everything like that. And, you know, as football fans, this is our time. Like, this is our time to shine. It's go time, baby. It is nitty gritty time.
Go time,
all that talk. Well, because all the shit talking time is done. Like, it is. It's nut up or shut up time. We saw Florida State. We just saw Florida State embarrass themselves in Ireland. You know, like we can start off the show like that because the thing is like it. We spend all off season talking so much, and that's not even just Texas fans. You know, like if you're on social media, if you're on Twitter, if you're on Instagram, YouTube, whatever the case may be, and you're on the college football algorithm, you're seeing all the shit talk. Like that's all there. It happens. Everybody talks shit. Everybody, everybody's off season champs. That's just how it is. Everybody, especially when recruiting is happening over the summer, you know, people are getting recruits over their rivals and X, Y, and Z. You know, it's so easy to sit here and like get excited in June and July, but it's August. You know, It's almost September.
Yep.
Now all the talking is done. It is nut up or shut up time, baby.
Nut or shut up. I like that.
And all I know is Florida State fans better shut up.
Yo, can I mention something? So I was listening to a space. Florida State was in there. All the fans were talking and on Twitter, and he was like, they thought they were still going to win. They thought they had a chance. And then when the dude made the field goal, like they just ended the space. Nobody said bye. They just cut the street.
I saw that. They were like, screw that. They were not even ready for that. They were like, fuck this. Like, not even about to have it. Not even doing it. Honestly, though, like I couldn't imagine. We've had our issues versus Maryland. You know, like we've had our early out of conference issues. Like, let's not try and sit here and make it seem like we are immune to embarrassing ourselves. We are absolutely not. But if I'm talking that loud especially after being left out of the playoff, talking all the crap about being left out in the playoff, just to get embarrassed in 4K on national television
4K
by Georgia, and then you spend all off season. Yep. You end up losing to Georgia Tech in Ireland.
If you could have been more humble, like don't get me twisted. Georgia Tech's a really good team. They're really well coached.
For sure.
How you ended the season last year, and then all off season, like you said, been talking, like you expect a little bit more, and it's like, oh, best defensive line in all college football. Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. That's exactly what our friend Victor just said. Thought Florida State was supposed to have a very good D-line. We heard all offseason how elite that defense was going to look. And honestly, DJU was not their problem. I mean, he was a problem. He wasn't their only problem. Their defense, I feel like, was a big problem. I feel like their defense might have been a bigger problem than DJU. DJU was not, let's not twist that. He was not stellar. He was much less than stellar on Saturday.
I'll say this though, when you spend and don't get it twisted, they lost a week of preparation, right? Because everybody else plays already, they got an extra week prep.
Yeah.
But it's a team you really haven't seen on film much. Like it's so hard to game plan for Georgia Tech was doing a lot of misdirection. They didn't run straight at him. Like they had a lot of misdirection with the jet sweep, a lot of motion that they had to deal with and contend with. I would like to see them. I would have liked to see Florida State adjust better, but I think they were just getting counterpunched all game. They couldn't catch up, and I think it's one of the things. You play a conference opponent that early in the season that's really good. Like you never know. So,
well, and that's the thing is like you like we were talking about. You spend all off season, preparing and talking and listening to your beat writers and listening to all the off season talk and what everybody else is saying about your program and everything, and you kind of take that word as law, instead of, drawing your own conclusions from what's being said. You just kind of go with what everybody else is saying, and it's very easy to get lost in that Kool-Aid. It's very easy to get lost in the sauce. And,
true.
It's very easy to get drug into that hype. And because honestly, like, I feel like anybody could have told you that they weren't going to look half as what they looked last year. Like you lose Jordan Travis, who obviously was your workhorse. He was your engine. He was the engine that made your entire team go. Right. You lose that.
Coleman, the second round receiver.
Exactly.
Jared Verse, like you lost some D linemen. Like don't get it twisted. That's dominating. Like as rookies, they look good. So
yeah. Jared Verse looks amazing.
You lost a lot. And so, yeah, I know you're supposed to better replace and all that. It's not as easy as you think sometimes, but now speaking of that, I hope we can replace Sweat and Murphy.
No, exactly. Like that's the thing is we've talked our shit too. We have our own atonement to attend,
We like chest,
we got our own atonement to attend on Saturday. And you know what? We'll talk about it in a little bit because Colorado State is not a pushover. They will give our pass defense a big test. Mm-hmm. And so talk is cheap. Like I said, nut up or shut up. It's nut up or shut up time because it's all out there now.
Yep, it is. It's go time.
It's go time. That's exactly what it is. So I thoughts and prayers to Florida State fans. Your
thoughts and prayers.
Your season ain't necessarily over, but it's not a great way. It's not a great way to start.
No.
It's not a great way to start. But also, like I said, I also saw a lot of stuff about, kind of going back to what I was saying about just believing in whatever you're reading and believing in the hype and believing in your beat writers and everything like that, instead of just kind of drawing your own conclusions. A lot of Florida State fans were sitting and having conversations about how they felt lied to by their beat writers. They felt gypped. They felt like they were getting told one thing and and what was put on the field was something completely different. So is that, and I'm going to ask you as somebody that works with Inside Texas and is a part of the Texas media, do you think that was more so about fans misinterpreting and drawing and coming up with their own hype and their own feelings about the team? Or do you feel like they were actually like sunshine pumped a little bit. Like they had some sunshine pumped up their asses.
I think it's a bit of both, honestly. And it depends. Florida State is not Texas, so I don't know how much access they really have to see a lot. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they don't get to see the nitty and gritty.
Yeah.
They get to see the beginning of practice, some 7-on-7, maybe, the first beginning stages of practice. Then you can report on what you see.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can wait on your sources inside the building to tell you, hey, this guy's looking really good, this and that. Like we talked about with the scrimmage thing. The defensive linemen look really good in inside run. When you know it's a run.
Yeah.
How do they look 11-on-11 or 9-on-9? Like, how do they look in different periods? You don't know. And so I think you get bits and pieces of information. So, the D-line looked really good. We're hearing so many great things. But that source may be talking about inside run because they're stopping the run. Well, how do they look in other periods? And you don't really explain it. I think that's what people don't really get a chance to really see a full practice. Mm-hmm. And so it can be some sunshine pumping in using the source that you have inside the building. But I would say this. We got some of the best sources inside Texas, so our stuff is legit.
Hey, like I said, I'm not trying to sit here and bash beat writers. That's not even what we're trying to sit here and do.
I know.
Is like bash beat writers or anything like that. But we also know that there are it's just a thing. Beat writers do fall victim to sunshine pumping and feeding their own egos and feeding their own perspectives on what the team is going to look like. And I don't know. I think like I said, I think that there are three sides to every story. There's the side of the beat writers, there's the side of the fans, and then somewhere in the middle is where the truth lies. So I feel like, it's definitely one of those things that you just got to kind of take it with context and take it with a grain of salt. And honestly, that's how you should be approaching those articles and stuff anyways, because because at the end of the day, that's all it is. You are getting a snippet of what is going on behind the scenes.
Right.
You're getting a little, 4 or 5 paragraph article in regards to a full roster full of scholarship players.
Exactly.
On top of recruiting, on top of coaching, on top of there's so much that goes into everything that Sark and everybody deals with on the daily that there's so much information to go around all the time.
It is.
And there's so many ways for people to interpret the same exact information.
That part. And I think like every year we always hear certain players look so good in camp. And then you don't see it in the season. Like, well, I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, so we'll see.
No, for sure. But speaking of off-season hype, before we get into our 2024 season predictions, we are going to just jump into a little bit of recruiting for a second because we have some stuff to be excited about. We've got a 5-star receiver, Jamie French, is set to commit on August 30th. Mm-hmm. So be on the lookout for that, y'all, because how are we feeling about Jamie French, Coach Dub?
Je m'appelle shout.
Oui.
I feel good. I like French. I like speaking French, the little French that I know. I like French. I like French a lot.
I don't know. I was gonna try.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Charles. There we go. See, I still got a little bit. I took French in high school. I can speak a little bit.
I did not. I took Spanish. Hola.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I did not take French, but it's been one of those things with Jamie French where he's kind of he's been a difficult one to get a consistent read on, because anytime he has seemed to go on a big time visit, that school always kind of ended up being at the front of the line with him. It just kind of seemed that that's where it ended up leaning. When it came to Jamie French, it was just kind of like what was in front of him, what was freshest in his head. And I don't know if that has that kind of died down a little bit. Do you feel like the dust is kind of settled with the recruiting aspect or anything, and he's just kind of really focused in on 1 or 2 schools, or how do you feel like he's approaching his commitment on the 30th?
I think it's LSU, Miami, and Texas. I think that those have been consistent as of late, and yeah, he's a politician, right? So if he goes to LSU, the LSU beat writers are going to want to ask him the question. So yeah, he's going to tell him, he feels good. If you get Jamie French outside of a visit and talk to him, then you can kind of tell where he's leaning. Let me not say leaning, but you can kind of tell where he's going just by what he says and where he may be going. And so I think he talks good about every school he visits. He just doesn't. He wants this recruitment. Like we see so many reporters, or not reporters, but people break kids' commitments and they start putting these crystal balls in, right? Based on that. So him keeping even kill across the board, I think he's done a great job of doing that because it keeps the suspense going and keeps the team bidding behind the scenes too.
And that's fair. That's fair. Hey, that's how you drive. That's how you drive your name up. That's how you drive the price up. That's how you do the NIL game nowadays.
Yeah, but I feel really good about Texas' chances with French, and so yeah.
Really, really excited to hear about that because obviously that would be 3 5-stars in what, a month and a half?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. And that's pretty freaking crazy, especially considering, just over a month ago, we're sitting here crying over De'Corian Moore and being upset about losing Myron Charles and Josiah Sharma and losing all these guys and everything. And now we're sitting here, Eric Nahlin from Inside Texas puts in an RPM for Myron Charles to flip to the University of Texas. So from his current commitment at Florida State. So we say it all the time. Sark is a closer. Sark is a closer. I don't know why we always sit and doubt him. Like, why do we continue to doubt?
Well, I think with Myron Charles, I think it was really between Florida State and Texas, and he ended up choosing Florida State because he had the longer relationship there. Florida, but we had a chance to get him before he committed to Florida State. I felt really good about Texas' chances then. And then Florida State looking the way they look, that helped.
Oh, for sure.
That helped.
For sure.
But I think that sometimes the cars kind of just line up for everybody. Like, not that Sark's not a closer, just like how many receivers we have committed right now? 1?
Yeah.
Let French be number 2. Like, it's an opportunity to be in the class. Why would you go somewhere else? They got 3 receivers committed. You know what I mean? Like, you got to start looking at recruiting across the board too. Sometimes you just got to keep swinging, man.
Do you think that's strategic, or do you think that's just like happenstance? Like, do you think you just kind of like swing and hope it connects, and if it does, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Or because that seems like a very dangerous game to play.
Yeah, I think it depends on the schools. How fans and people see kids. If we look at website, we look at rankings, and this kid is better because he has a higher rank. Staffs, do they want to recruit a 5-star kid? Yeah, but they may find a 3-star kid that got every single trait on the board and say, I'm good by taking a 3-star kid.
Yeah.
Or this 4-star kid who has the same exact traits. Fans will boo at it and say, okay, whatever. Like, we got the better kid. Yeah. But to a team, they don't feel like they lost out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just think it's 2 sides of the coin. We think we're getting a better player because 247 on 3, everybody says so. But on the recruiting board inside the building, then hey, they don't feel that way. They don't feel that way. You know what I mean? Of course they want the kid. Not saying they don't.
Yeah.
Most programs wanted Corey Moore. Most programs wanted, Jamie French, right? But if they can find somebody compatible just as close, then yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, that's how they view it. So it's just a bit different.
That makes a lot of sense. Hey, I do appreciate that. Thank you so much, Evan. Thank you. I worked really, really hard on that yesterday. I had my friend came over at like 9:00 yesterday morning to help me with everything. It's not done, obviously. I got a lot more to put up behind there. It's going to be a really, really cool backdrop, or a backdrop, whatever you want to call it. But yeah. I am really, really happy with how it came out so far. So thank you so much for pointing that out. I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, it does kind of look like stars.
Yeah.
It does kind of look like twinkling stars. And I'm okay with that.
It looks legit. I like it.
I'm okay with that. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm patting myself on the back. I'm giving myself credit. So it is what it is. But there are also a few other that, Florida State, not looking so stellar on Saturday kind of helped us a little bit with. So or not necessarily helped us, but there's some talks happening and some questions popping around about, maybe a Javian Hilson or something like that. How are we feeling about that?
I ain't heard nothing.
No,
with that one whatsoever.
Okay, fair enough.
Florida State DBs look too bad. I think Texas got a courtesy visit out of him. Like, okay, he got to come to Texas and visit. I'm not saying that you won't continue to try to recruit him because you never know what happens. It's just I didn't feel confident then. Now I don't know now. You know what I mean?
Fair enough. I mean, that's fair though. Like I said, that's fair. You never, hey, coming down to the end of the road now, you know, you're coming into the beginning of the season. Not only it's obviously is it the beginning of the college football season, but it's also the beginning of their senior seasons as well. So they've got a lot of stuff going on. There's so much going on and happening before December. So there are a lot of moving parts that happen when it comes to recruiting. So just keep your eyes out. Again, 5-star receiver Jamie French is set to commit August 30th. So look out for his commitment video. I think it's on 3. Is that where they said that they posted it?
Yeah.
Somewhere. Oh, I'm not 100% sure where the video is exactly.
So wake up. It's 8:25 his time, so it'd be 7:25 Central Time. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably gonna wake up to it on Twitter.
Nah, you gotta wake your ass up.
Oh, okay, fine. You twisted my arm. But anyways, we kind of talked a little bit about recruiting. Now let's get into the good shit. Let's get into the shit that everybody wants to hear. You know, with less than a week until kickoff. It's time for our predictions, y'all. It is time for the laced up predictions for the 2024 Texas Longhorn football season. And I can't even like put into words how excited that makes me. Like just saying that. Like I get like butterflies. It makes me want to like run around my apartment. Oh, my dog's like I'm sitting over here like dancing. My dog's staring at me like the heck. But let's go ahead and get into some predictions, y'all, because this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be some fun stuff. So this Saturday, we are set to kick off in DKR versus the Colorado State Rams. So, Coach Dub, where is your head at for week 1 of the regular season for the Texas Longhorns?
You want to win them? You want just to win a loss, or you want a little brief? How you want?
No, I mean we can just sit and talk about it, and then just kind of come to a conclusion. And you can say whether or not, like, if we agree, we agree. If not, we'll sit and say whether or not it's a win or a loss.
Yeah, I think, of course, I think Texas wins. I think they win by at least 3 scores. I think it'd be early throughout I think it'd be a tight game throughout the game, tighter than most people would think and want. Like, you know what I'm saying? They'll Of course, they want to blow everybody out right away, but Sark has not shown that.
Sark is not a. Okay, hold on. I mean,
you take the Wyoming game last year.
Yeah, he's not. That
was close, right? Until the fourth quarter, we kind of just separated, right?
Yeah. We even looked rough in the Rice game last year.
Yeah, but you know.
That's what I'm saying. We're going into week 1, though. But that's what I'm saying. We're going into week 1. This is early on. This is week 1. So that's what we're talking. That's exactly what we're talking about.
I'm not saying we'll struggle. I think that we'll just try to establish the run game. I think we'll try to. You want to establish an identity. Yeah. Identity early on in the game. I think that we'll do so, or try to. But I think Colorado State, because they're a well-coached team, they'll stay around early. Mm-hmm. And then offensively, they're going to play keep away with the short passing game. I think it'll be closer up to the third quarter. I think we'll break it open. Mm-hmm. Turnover, something of that nature, and kind of take the game away from there. But, of course, I think Texas wins by 3 scores. I think they just pull away late.
I definitely think Texas wins. Obviously, week 1, I'm definitely going to list it as a dub just because it's Colorado State. It's not one that we should necessarily be, quote-unquote, worried about. But on that same note, Colorado State is not a pushover. They are, like you said, they are a very, very well-coached team. They had they have a receiver on their roster that had 1,100.
They got 2 NFL receivers.
They had
one who's committed to Texas, by the way.
One of them had an 1,100-yard season last season.
Right, but the other one gone. But they have Armani Winfield who committed to Sark.
Mm-hmm. Armani Winfield did commit to Sark. So
now he's at Colorado State, and so he's gotten it together mentally and physically. He's ready, so he's looking forward to this.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he is. And it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be something that I feel like you said, it's going to make people a little bit more nervous than it probably should.
Right.
But I also just think it's week 1. You know, Quinn's still, you know, coming out of fall camp, getting worked up with his receivers, getting the timing, you know, all of that is a season-long process. You know, it's not just going to come together over spring and over fall camp. It takes practice. It takes time. It takes consistency to be able to build that rapport with your receivers. So we don't know if they're going to come off firing on all cylinders week 1. You know, like that's not something that you can go into week 1 automatically expecting, no matter how good you are.
Good facts.
So I do feel like obviously we will win.
Yep.
That is we are 1-0. We are 1-0. But like I said, I do feel like it will make people a lot more nervous than it probably should. Especially considering, you know, we're coming off of a pass defense last year that was much less than stellar.
Right.
Outside of the top 100 in the entire nation. So obviously facing a team that has a chip on their shoulder, you know, they're playing with house money. They're coming into DKR.
They do. They are. And I want to see how well we communicate on the back end at the linebacker position. Honestly, I think that since they run like the Mike Leach system, well, Hal Mummy, who created the spread and the short passing game, his son is a coach QB, so they're going to run a lot of mesh stuff. As you know, we struggled against that versus Houston a lot last year. Mesh is really hard to stop. I coached against Colorado State last year. Mesh is not. It's hard to stop. You got to get pressure, but you just got to make tackles. They can't let them break tackles. I think that's the biggest thing and the biggest key. You got to stay consistent. Just get them off the field as much as possible, but on third downs. But make a 3rd and long versus 3rd and short. Trust me, it's not even be a long day. They can keep the ball for a while. But if we clean it up, I want to see us communicate, because it's a good test to see how we communicate on the back end. How well we're communicating. Hey, I got a crosser. We looked at some film. Like, hey, for some guys crossing your face under 5 yards, rough him up. Don't let him run free. In, out. Like, oh, your guy.
Communicate. Yep.
You know, so you
passing them off
during the play, before the play.
Victor, our friend Victor said he wants to see Arch get meaningful snaps, and I agree. That was going to be my next point. I want to see.
For blowing them out, but do the blowout.
No. That's my caveat. Like, that is my thing. I'm not trying to see Arch if it's a close game. Well, like, unless Quinn gets injured, obviously. Obviously, that's the whole. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are all scenarios that we're having to think of. We're not putting anything into the universe, okay? I'm not putting anything out there.
Victor did it.
No, he didn't.
I'm teasing.
I don't think so. Don't do that to him. Anyways. So it is a dub in the win column. We are 1-0 on the season, in our opinion.
Yeah. Next
up, we've got. Sorry, I got to pull up my whole friggin' schedule.
Oh, we know who that is.
I know we got Michigan week 2, but I was pulling up my schedule so that I could have it at the ready whenever we were headed into the next game. But week 2, we head to Ann Arbor and take on the reigning national champion, Michigan Wolverines. Coach Dub, how do you feel?
I haven't decided on the game yet, but I have no choice since it's a prediction show. I'm going to say Texas loses the game. Here's my reason why.
Yikes.
Hey, I got a question. I know this is live. Do I reserve the right to change my answer after week 1 of Michigan?
No.
Well, I don't know how Michigan's going to look on offense. Okay.
No, because the thing is these predictions they're live. These are live on the interwebs as we speak. So, like, you can't take that back.
All right. I'm gonna go Michigan in a close game.
Okay.
1, I think they'll be able to stop our run. 2, I feel like they'll be able to get pressure on Quinn without having to blitz much, which they're going to bring pressure from all angles. it'll be the first time we see a defensive line who can run twists and stunts, and we have never been good at picking those up. They have the corners and secondary that can match up outside one-on-one. They got big corners too, 6'2", 6'3", who can run. They got safeties, they got linebackers, they got depth, and most importantly, they bring pressure up the middle with those two big guys, Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. I've seen Michigan win a game, run the ball all game.
Yeah.
Like, you knew it was a run. Everybody knew it was a run watching TV, people in the stands, and nobody could stop it.
Yeah.
That, like, the fact that you can do that, you can win a game, it's going to hand it off. Dude, that's just so deflating. Like, you know? And so if Michigan gets us to play their style of game where they eat the clock and we don't get that many possessions, we're going to be in trouble. Because when he gets a lot of possessions, he can show you a lot of things. When you get so short possessions, I gotta beat on you. I know what you can do, Sark. And I think the NFL style defense that the Michigan has, I think, and they still have weapons on offense. People don't think they do. And Alex Orji is the black Tim Tebow who can throw a little better. Let's keep it a buck.
I feel like that was a lot.
I'm just telling you. That's what it reminds me of. He's super strong. He's big. He's a 4'4" kid, but he like squats 700 pounds. Like, he's Tebow. He's big, strong.
Okay. So for me, it's definitely a game that I think is going to come down to which team can run the ball better. Like, I think it's going to come down to the run game. It's going to come down to which offensive line can protect the quarterback better.
Right.
And it's going to come down to which run game can get off to a better start. Because I think that the team that gets started off early, going steady early, is going to be the team that kind of runs away with it. Not necessarily saying that it's going to be a blowout either way. I'm just saying that I feel like the momentum is going to be on the team that establishes their identity very early.
Yeah.
And both teams' identity, they want to run the football. Michigan is a run-first team. Sark wants to run the football. That's what they want to do. So with that being said, I'm taking Texas. You know what? I think that Sark and Quinn have been very, very good in big-time games. I think that they have done well in their game prep and their planning for big-time games. You know, you look at Alabama in 2022, and then last year, Alabama, Sark looked very, very well prepared in both of those games. He planned for those games very, very, very well, and I expect him to fully prepare for Michigan the exact same way. And so I see us pulling it out. I definitely see a very, very tough, hard-fought battle, but I see us pulling it out and getting the dub in Ann Arbor. So that's where we differ. You got us 1-1. I got us 2-0.
I hear you. I think this preparing for somebody. The last 2 years, Alabama's offenses have been kind of Like I think he prepared for the defense. He knew Bama's defense very well. But he also had time to prepare for Washington, too.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean?
And honestly, I did say back in December, too, I was like, be prepared. I will say, though, kind of on that same topic, his second half game plan was a lot better than his first versus Washington, in my opinion. But anyways.
Yeah, next.
Say what you were going to say.
Say what you're going to
say. We're not gonna get on that Washington topic because that's going down a rabbit hole. That's going down a big old rabbit hole. But I definitely see it being a hard fought battle, especially in the trenches. You know, it's going to be ground and pound. I think it's going to come down. Like I said, I think it's going to come down to which team runs the ball better, which team is more efficient running the football, and I really like Jaden Blue doing that. Honestly, I know Donovan Edwards is very, very good. And a lot of people would probably argue that Donovan Edwards was better than Blake Corum. So, I mean, I think that Donovan Edwards is obviously no slouch. He's going to run the damn ball. And it's going to be a very, very, very hard-fought battle. I do think that Donovan has a little bit more in-game experience, obviously, than Jaden Blue. And that could present as advantageous for Michigan in that sense. But I don't know. I just really like our explosivity. I like Jaden Blue with the ball in his hands. Give him the ball, and he's going to create an opportunity. And I love that about him. And I think that he I think he's going to create some momentum for us in Ann Arbor, and I'm really excited for that. So I have us going into Ann Arbor and winning week 2 versus Michigan.
Okay, cool.
Yay! Okay, week 3 week 3 versus UTSA.
Oh.
We got UTSA at the ready. Obviously, the Roadrunners like to make the Roadrunners like to poke at us. They really like to mess with us a little bit. Yeah. They really enjoy, you know, being a quote unquote feeder school. You know, they are kind of that feeder school type vibe, but they really lean into it. They love the rivalry. I think last year they came on campus to I think they came on like UT's campus to record their photo or their uniform reveal. Their uniform reveal, and obviously that got all of us being like, okay.
Okay. And they played well that game too.
Huh?
They played well versus us.
They did.
Game. They had to lead for a little bit too.
Yes, they did. It was a very, very good game when it probably shouldn't have. But once again, that was a lot of Sark's identity last season, is they would start off kind of slow. Whereas, like, I feel like in 2022, they would get off to a really hot start and then lose it after halftime. Whereas last season, I feel like their second half adjustments were a lot better, but they did get that slow start. Now I want to see them put it together. You know, now I want to see them put the slow or the fast starts with the good finishes as well. And I think that UTSA, that could be the opportunity for Sark to be able to actually show to do that. You know, like you can do that with Michigan, but Michigan's going to be a hard fought game. It's going to be balls to the wall from start to finish, no matter what.
Right.
You know, UTSA is a game that is very easy to just kind of slack off and not really focus very hard, and that's where culture comes in, you know? So like, I feel like they played well versus Texas last year. And like I said, I feel like Sark's identity last season was just a little bit opposite of what he started out with. So I'm hoping that this season he can finally put 2 and 2 together and make 4. And I think that means that we beat UTSA. Like, duh. But
either way to say W, right?
Yeah, it's a dub. Like, it's not one of those games that I'm worried about, but it's also kind of like the Colorado State game where I think it provides a unique test for Sark, you know, in the sense that we have played them last season. And I think that he does have the opportunity to look back at what he did last season and be able to put those 2 quarters to put those 2 halves together, you know?
I think that UTSA has lost a lot of super seniors that they had, though. They made them so competitive and good. Versus now, they're kind of a young team.
That's true, yeah.
And so I don't really know what they'll be like. I know they'd be well coached and fight hard and be tough, physical, and all that good stuff, but I don't know what kind of team they have. I got Texas winning that by at least about 3 scores, too.
Yeah. I do like Jeff Traylor. I like him as a coach, and honestly, like whenever A&M was on their coaching hunt, I was hoping that they weren't even going to look his way, so... Like, I like Jeff Traylor. I like him as a coach, and I really like what he's doing at UTSA and with the UTSA football program. And like I said, I like what he's doing down there, but I definitely think that he's not going to overtake Sark in week 3.
No,
not
with this team.
No, not happening. Honestly, it's one of those things that I think that one could just very easily just come down to talent, and it would just.
I agree with that one.
Like it could just end up being like they just got out talented.
Yep. No, I agree.
So I think that could end up being the outlook for the UTSA game in week 3. But week 4, we got ULM, who has been a pretty consistent opponent over the past few seasons, I feel like. Am I wrong in that? We had him last year.
All I can say is win next.
Oh, win next. Oh, I thought I was trying to have a conversation, and you're sitting there like next.
I'm teasing. I mean, come on now.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it is a win. Like win.
Yeah, they provide. That is a. Let me work on all my trick play. Let me work on all my stuff.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be that brash and rude, but come on.
Well, but I mean, hey, like I said, that's another opportunity for Sark to put 2 and 2 together and make 4.
I agree. That's a game that all the backups should play in.
So that's the game that you think that Art should see significant snaps is that ULM game?
Trey Owens too.
Hey, honestly, don't sleep on Trey Owens.
I'm just saying.
That's a couple years. That's a few years ahead of time, but I really, really like Trey. I really like what Trey's about.
Trey too.
Trey's a baller. Trey is a baller, and I think he was very, very, very underrated in his class. So I'm excited to see what Trey does. But I do think that throughout these first 4 weeks, I do think that it could Art could see very significant playing time. Yeah, not very significant, but you know what I mean. Like
I know what you mean.
Well, I didn't want to make it seem like I was gonna say that he was seeing significant play time as if like he's gonna go out and start.
I know what you mean though.
Because
we're good.
I ain't crazy. I mean, okay. A little bit, but that's besides the point. Okay. So week 5 is when we start SEC play. So we've got week 5 on September 28th versus Mississippi State.
Ooh.
Mississippi State with a brand new head coach. It is. I just have the screenshot, so give me 1 second. It's at DKR. Yes, it is at DKR. It is at DKR, but you are facing a head coach that got the best of you as an offensive coordinator last season.
Yes.
So he is a first-year head coach. He's not. It is a very, very new system, very new program. They have a new quarterback, Blake Shapen. You know, they've got a lot, and Blake Shapen is a very experienced quarterback. How many years was he at Baylor?
Too many. I don't know.
He's been at Baylor since like Nam.
Yeah, he was there for a while.
Yeah, Blake Shapen has spent his entire college career at Baylor University. Is it Baylor University or the University of Baylor?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Well, it's BU, so I think it's Baylor University.
Baylor University, okay. I'll take your word for it.
I sound dumb as hell. Anyways, but yes, that is at DKR. It is at home, so that does provide an added benefit. Obviously, having your home crowd is a good thing, especially game 1 of the SEC schedule.
Right.
But I think Mississippi State is going to be one of the lower level teams in the SEC this season. I don't have a lot of high expectations for them with this upcoming season. I just think that there's too much new going into it. There's too many new moving parts that have joined in over the past year that I don't necessarily see them being in the upper echelon of the SEC this upcoming season, especially, considering their recruiting classes over the past few years. They haven't done very well in the portal. Obviously losing Mike Leach kind of obviously that. Rest in peace to the Pirate. And you hate that for them, but I also didn't necessarily love the Levy hire, if we're being completely honest. I don't.
I think they want somebody with offense skill, and I think that's why they went and got him. Honestly, it's gonna be a big task for him to fill those shoes. I think of Mike Leach, but they're a team that loses kids to the poor. Like all their good players leave. Like it's there's nothing out there.
Kind of like not to be kind of an asshole, but like a stepping stone type program.
Yeah, it is, you know what I mean? So I think they got a long way to go. We'll see how they play throughout the season. But I got Texas winning this and winning the big.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think honestly that could be a bigger win than Colorado State.
Could be.
I think that could end up being a bigger win than Colorado State, just because I feel like Colorado State provides a different threat than Mississippi State does. Especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I definitely see Texas. I definitely see Texas winning that game and winning it big. So on the season so far, I'm 5-0.
You're undefeated.
I'm undefeated. We are undefeated starting SEC play. How you got us at 4-1. Hey, that's how I got us. I Live, laugh, love. I live, laugh, love for it. But we do have a bye week in between Mississippi State and Oklahoma. So we have week 6, or technically week 7, going into Red River rivalry time. Revenge time, because last year should not have happened.
Well,
it did, but it should not have happened. It did, but it should not have happened. So, and honestly, historically, Sark, especially at Texas, Sark has been very, very good in revenge games. I think the only one he has yet to kind of top is Kalen DeBoer.
Right.
That's the only one That's the only one he's faced at the University of Texas that he hasn't gotten a win over. So I think, right? Am I wrong in that?
No, you're right. Nope,
I think I'm right in that.
Kalen DeBoer, yeah, he can't beat. Yeah, he lost to him twice. Yeah. Dang.
Yep. So,
Dang.
so like I said, he's been very, very good on the revenge tours. You know, Sark doesn't. If we know anything about Sark, I think he's made it very clear, just as a human being, as a person, he's not a big fan of losing.
Right.
You know, like he doesn't like to lose, but he does see every loss as a learning experience, as a learning opportunity.
Yeah, for sure. You got to.
And so I feel like because he has that mindset, it's a lot easier for him to go into that next year with that revenge mindset, because you have, like, yeah, we lost, but we're bigger, better, faster, stronger. Line up, let's go. You know?
No, I agree with that. Line up. Oh yeah.
I just honestly, I don't know what to expect from them offensively.
They're gonna be good on offense.
You think?
Yes. This is my gut feeling. They're gonna be better than what we think.
I think they can definitely be better than what we think, but I also think that they have an opportunity to not be very good. You have a completely brand new, fresh starting offensive line protecting a completely brand new and fresh freshman in Jackson, or redshirt freshman in Jackson Arnold. So I just have a lot of question marks when it comes to Oklahoma, like I said, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So I don't know.
I'll say this. Their offensive line don't have a lot of snaps together, but there are a lot of juniors and seniors on the offensive line who have played football other places.
Yeah.
They got a transfer in who's probably going to be an NFL guy. He came from UNT, actually. He's really good. He's really good.
Why'd you say it like that? He's really good.
Because he came from UNT. He was a walk-on to go to UNT.
But the way that you said it, you said he's really good.
Like, he's really good. Like, giving them props. I think with that offense, though, here's the thing, right? We've seen Texas Tech be really good back when Mike Leach days, really good with guys who, quote-unquote, quarterbacks who were not that good, right? From B.J. Simmons to – they run the exact same system because most of those guys are from the Leach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of quick passing game. They got playmakers outside. If they catch it, by that time, they'll have the system down. I don't know what we'll see. It'd be my only thing.
And that's fair. Like, I mean,
I think that's my worry. I don't know what kind of team we'll see by that week. But I got to pick, so I'm gonna go Texas in revenge.
You got Texas on the revenge?
Yeah, I got Texas on the revenge.
I got Texas on the revenge too. So you know what? Combined, we only got one loss.
You got us low key undefeated.
What do you mean low key? That's high key undefeated. We undefeated as hell right now. We undefeated as hell right now. Well, but honestly, out of the games that we've picked from, the only one that you've disagreed with me on is Michigan.
Yeah.
So I mean, making it seem like I'm sunshine pumping just because you got one loss.
Right now.
I do have us undefeated.
I know.
I do think that we can go in there and beat Michigan. I do think that Jaden Blue can provide that electricity in Ann Arbor.
Hey, I ain't knocking your picks now.
Yep. Yeah, huh?
No, I'm not.
You said you got us 5-0.
I thought about it like low key. You got us undefeated.
I do. But I do have us 5-0. But
yeah.
Week
Who's
8.
next? Who's next?
We bring them dogs to town, baby. We got the University of Georgia coming to Austin in probably one of, if not the biggest games of the season. Definitely could be a determining game in SEC play.
Right.
You know, especially when it comes to the playoffs and, you know, conference seeding and everything like that. So this one is...
Go ahead. Don't be afraid.
I'm not afraid. I just definitely think that... No, it's not that I'm afraid. It's going to be a very, very, very good game. But the last time we faced Georgia was in that 2019 Sugar Bowl. And, you know, we pissed some people off with that one. Obviously, that was a long time ago. I'm not saying that people hold... I'm not saying that people hold grudges, but I'm also not saying they don't. Right. And I'm saying that Georgia and Georgia fans want to win that game big time.
So which way you got us going here?
I got us taking the L with this one. Unfortunately, I got us taking the L with this one. I do think that Kirby and Georgia come in, and I do think that they get the better of us in DKR. Unfortunately. But I do think that I do think it's going to be a very, very good game. I think that that is a game where I'm excited to see what they are able to do with the run game, because we know Georgia is notorious for their big, mean, bad defensive line.
Right.
So I am curious to see what the run game is going to look like for that game. And then obviously, you know, Georgia has just been Georgia from top to bottom for the past few seasons. And, you know, they kind of screwed themselves over last season by not losing earlier. That was really ultimately the only knock they really had, because, I mean, you lost your conference championship. You go from number one. You've been number one all season. You've been number one all season. You lose one game and you drop completely out of the top four. That's crazy. That's never happened before. And it ultimately just ended up being one of those things that Texas really had its own back. We really stood 10 toes down for ourselves whenever we went to Tuscaloosa and beat Alabama by 10. Because honestly, that game in and of itself was the reason we made it into the college football playoff, because you weren't going to leave out an Alabama that just beat the number one team in the nation, and you're not going to leave out the only team that beat that team. So I just think that it's a very high intensity game, especially coming off of whatever win-loss could be coming from Red River the week before. You know, coming off of a very highly emotional game to come into one of your hardest games of the season, I think is going to be a very, very difficult task. And
it will be.
I don't know if that's going to be. I don't know as of right now if that's going to be one that we're going to be able to overcome in that moment. So I do have us losing to Georgia. Unfortunately, I do think it's going to be a close game, though. I do think that's going to be a close game. I could see that coming down to kind of like 2022 Alabama, where it was like a last second field goal, like type vibe, you know, like coming down to the final 2 minutes where, you know, Texas, kind of similar to what happened with Oklahoma last season. You know, we left too much time on the clock after not being as aggressive as a lot of people probably thought we should have been. And they go down and win the game. So I definitely could see that type of vibe for the Texas-Georgia game. I definitely think it's going to be a very hard-fought battle. But I just think with the high emotions from the week before, I don't know if it's going to be enough.
I got us losing to Georgia. I think we'll be outcoached and we'll be outplayed. Honestly, I think for the first time in a long time, Texas will probably be outmanned, and that's hard to do. That's how I truly feel. I feel like Georgia has better players across the board. Texas is usually better than everybody they face.
Yep.
Sometimes they don't play up to the level of their capability, but I feel like Georgia is well coached, and I feel like for the first time we'll probably be outmanned. Now, don't get me wrong, Georgia still got to play. Like, it ain't gonna be no cakewalk for them. But
yeah. Well, and they can't go into the Texas game with the same mentality that they did versus Alabama last season, because Texas will do what Alabama did.
No, and I don't think they will. I think they were young last year, and a lot of those guys are just back this year. But I think Georgia they're really good, they're really talented. And Kirby Smart's going to come in pissed off. Like he's saying all nice things now, like, I think Texas is great, but he's tired of hearing about Texas.
And
like,
that's exactly what I'm saying. They're tired
of hearing about Texas. They're tired of answering questions about Texas right now.
Well, and when SEC media days are basically every other question is about Texas or something about Sark or something about Quinn or something about the university, like you're gonna piss people off. You're gonna rub people the wrong way and ruffle some feathers. And if any of y'all thought that we were ever going to go into the SEC without a target on our back, you were wildly mistaken.
Yeah, wildly mistaken.
Wildly mistaken, because that was never going to happen. Even if SEC media days didn't end up being all about Texas, like I still think that we have a bigger target on our back than Oklahoma. I think we have a much bigger target on our back than Oklahoma does.
Of course. Everybody, we haven't been running our mouths, but other people have been running their mouths about us. And so I think that, we got the answer for that.
And that's the thing is it kind of goes back to what we were saying at the beginning of the show, where it's nut up or shut up time. It's time for, all the talk is done. All the talk is cheap. It's time to put it on the field.
Exactly right.
Lace them up, put them pads on, and let's get it.
Hey. But I got Georgia by
get it, laced up, lace them up. Ha 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 ha.
I got Georgia by 2 scores though. That's just me.
Whoa.
Yeah, jeez. I do. Still think they're going to get a turnover late, and that's really going to hurt them.
I can see a world where that happens, but I definitely feel like Quinn and Sark are going to be able to keep it close. I think that, like you said, they're very well coached, very well manned. But I do think
turnovers, though. They create a ton of turnovers. They create a ton. I think that's where you get them more opportunities.
And that's true. If they can create a ton of turnovers like that, then yeah, I definitely that's definitely not going to be a good thing for us at all. Right. Because we've seen, we obviously saw what happened with whenever we lose the turnover battle. No matter how well you play after that, Quinn was damn near perfect after that, and you still lose. So, I mean, that's what happens whenever you turn the ball over like that. So if that happens, then yes, I can definitely see it being a 2-score game. But my gut instinct is just telling me 1 score. Honestly, my gut instinct is telling me 7, but I could even see 3. Like, I could see it being a very, very close game. And I'm really, really excited about that. But I do think we dropped that one to Georgia. So.
Okay, bet that. So what's your record? You got us at 1 loss so far, and I got us at 5-2.
Yeah, I'm at 6. I've got us at 6-1. You've got us at 5-2. I wish I had a visual for us to be able to have it on. Sorry, guys, but I should have had a visual being able to keep track. But I have us set at 6-0 or 6-0, 6-1.
You want to see? I hear
6-1. No, I did not. I would have said it if I wanted it. But 6-1. Coach has us set at 5-2 on the season already. That's rough. I don't like that. We're not even 10 weeks into the season, and you already got us with 2 losses. Yikes. Okay, after Georgia comes to town, we travel to Nashville, travel to the Smokies. And
is that the Vanderbilt game?
Yeah.
Oh man, brother.
Yeah. So we got the Georgia game October 19th, and then you travel to Nashville to face the Vanderbilt Commodores and win. Like, that's kind of a similar game that I think that, honestly, I think that could end up being one of those games that I think, we could beat Vanderbilt by more than we beat Colorado State.
I'm going to say this. Vanderbilt has some athletes that you don't know about.
That's fair. I feel like you can say that about most SEC teams, though.
They have, I would say this, Vanderbilt has SEC size, but not mean necessarily SEC caliber players everywhere. They got the size though. On the back end, they probably have a first round. They got 2 first rounders in the DB room though. CJ Taylor's a heck of a player. He's probably one. He's really good. He's tremendously. He's really good. I'm trying to think of somebody else. I forgot the other corner of the DB. They run 3 high safety look, by the way. So they're gonna try to keep everything in front of them. Yeah, that's what they run. I mean, they have to protect. They got to protect each other.
Yeah.
But I think we better run the ball on Vanderbilt.
That could be like the Jaden Blue star asterisk game for Jaden Blue, because that could be the game where we just really run it down their throats, utilize that ground and pound, and let him go.
There's gonna be a lot of play action. I think we'll get them with play action, honestly. A ton with play action, and they're susceptible to that. And even though they run 3 high safety looks, you kind of get them with a lot of double post concepts. I'm talking about how we beat them at UNLV last year. So
that makes a lot of sense. Sark, hello.
Yeah. I got
okay.
About 3 or 4 scores.
We got us winning that game pretty big. Like I said, I feel like that game could be a bigger blowout than Texas versus Colorado State this upcoming weekend. So
is that at home? That's in Nashville, so I don't think it's gonna be a blowout because of that. I don't think it's a blowout because it's in Nashville.
Okay, I'm not even trying to sound like a jackass. How many fans do they have?
How many fans?
Yeah.
I don't know how many fans they got.
Because I mean, like, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm genuinely asking because, like, I don't.
Those fans are gonna show with their stethoscopes and all types of stuff. Those doctors and lawyers are gonna show up on.
Well, but my thing is, like, I don't think I've met a Vanderbilt baseball fan, but, like, they didn't care about football, so they didn't go to football games. They didn't do anything like that. So, like, I personally have never met a Vanderbilt football fan or, like, a Vanderbilt fan that went to football games. So I'm like,
a guy I grew up with played Vanderbilt. He played tight end, man. He was pretty good.
Like, how scary of an environment is it really? You know?
Oh, it's not scary at all.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like, why would you kind of not walk it back, but why would you kind of, like, second guess it being a blowout just because it's in Nashville?
How can I explain it? Have you ever played in the have you ever played?
Yeah.
Have you ever played in an environment where it's quiet, almost like a scrimmage type? You got to create your own energy. You don't have nobody's crowd to feed off of because it's so quiet. It's kind of like that. It's like, is this a game? If anybody watching play,
so it's so dead that it could cause a different problem. It's so dead that it could cause a problem.
Georgia struggled there last year.
That's true. That is true.
It's a quiet place.
That is true. So, hey, it could provide, an opposite end of the spectrum problem.
Yeah, it's a quiet. It's like,
whereas, like, we have a few games later on in the season that we'll talk about in a second that are going to be very, very high intensity, very, very live action, extreme environments. And I just don't think Vanderbilt is just not going to be one of them. So it's like, it's funny how you can kind of have the same problem,
right,
on 2 completely different, like, for 2 opposite perspectives,
Exactly. My point exactly.
Like, it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird how that kind of works out. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that ends up working out. But I definitely don't foresee Vanderbilt causing any sort of major malfunction or major issues or anything for us.
It's just a weird place to play.
Well, but and also
it's like playing at Kansas. Got a few fans, it's loud, but then it's like, why are we struggling with Kansas right now?
Yeah.
Maybe we should be blowing. It's like that.
Well, but also you're coming, and kind of like I said with the Georgia game, you're coming off of 2 back-to-back emotional weeks, 2 high-intensity, highly emotional weeks, facing Oklahoma and then turning right around and facing Georgia. So you have that time to kind of process your emotions and process everything, but it's different whenever you're going from game to game to game because you have to see it on a 1-game basis, but it's just not that easy. Like, it's not that easy. And it's very, very easy to play an OU, play a Georgia, and then easily look over Vanderbilt.
Right. I agree.
So
and then you banged up, and just or it could be the BYU game where we kind of just dominate all game, but it's like
it could be that too.
On forever.
And... where you're just sitting there like, are we even gonna freaking like what is happening? Like, are we ever gonna get going? I hate watching a football game like that, wondering, are we ever gonna get going? Like, are we ever gonna get something started? Like that is the most frustrating thing as a fan, is watching a game and just being like, come on, get something going.
Oh, Victor.
Something. It's true. Kansas did beat us. It's true. It is true. But anyways, after talking about Vanderbilt, we bring the Florida Gators to town at DKR. Honestly, this game is interesting because I think with Florida, it's one of two things. They're either going to be surprisingly good or they are going to completely suck and be absolutely horrendous. And I don't even know if Billy Napier will have a job by the Texas game. Those are the two options that I feel like I have on Florida. So what's your read? Where's your head at?
If a certain quarterback by the name of DJ Lagway is playing, then I don't know, because he provides a spark that in that late in the season, I mean, he's probably playing. He's kind of like Jalen Milroe last year. He can be really good.
Yeah.
He can be really good. And so I don't know what we'll get out of them. But I think it's a team that's going to play hard. I think they don't have enough for us. That's just my gut feeling. I don't feel like Florida has enough. I don't feel like they have a cohesive enough team to just beat us, if that makes sense. That's how I truly feel.
They have athletes, like Victor just said. They do. They have some athletes. They took away DeAndre Robinson. They took DeAndre Robinson away from us on the D line. So they have some athletes that we wanted.
I gotta bring that up.
I mean, because it's true. Because it's true.
I gotta bring that up, though.
Because it's true. So they obviously have athletes on their roster that we wanted. And obviously we have some athletes on our roster that they wanted, but. Besides the point, I just feel like I said, it's going to be one of two things, and I have a little bit more faith in the latter being the option, and Billy being on the hot seat headed into, what is that, week 8, 9?
Yeah.
8 versus Texas. I think he has a higher chance of being on the hot seat than they do of beating Texas in DKR.
I feel that.
That's just my opinion.
You won't see me complain about that one.
Fair enough. So where are we at? Because I only have us at 1 loss.
Yeah. Whew.
I've only got us at 1 loss. So 7-1.
That's where you got.
I've got us at 7-1. Wait, 8-1. Sorry. I know it's confusing. It's confusing. The way that I screenshot this was so dumb. I did not set myself up for success with this one. I set myself up for a lot of confusion, and that's my problem. That's my fault. So I apologize for that, but 1 second and I will tell you where exactly we are at.
All right.
Yeah, we are at 8-1, and then you were at 7-2. I had to 100% verify, but I have us at 8-1, headed into Fayetteville. Headed into Fayetteville, Arkansas, to face the University of Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah.
This game, I think, has all of the makings of a trap game. Because I don't think Arkansas is going to be very good. but it's going to be a crazy hostile environment. We know Arkansas fans hate us. We saw what the environment was like whenever we went there in 2021. Yes. You know, Arkansas fans had our number for months after that. They did not let us forget it. They absolutely hate our guts. It was said at SEC Media Days, you know, there were multiple people at Arkansas that even admitted, Sam Pittman, their head coach, admitted that he probably agreed with Sark that their fan base hates Texas more than they love Arkansas.
True.
You know, like that is just the type of environment that fan base lives in. And they hate us so much that I could definitely see it being such a crazy, horrible environment that it could cause us some problems. I don't see us losing, but I could see it causing us some problems and causing us to sit here and be like, you know what? We are 2 weeks away from the playoff. What the hell are we doing?
So you got us winning.
Yes, I do have us winning that game versus Arkansas.
So people don't think Arkansas is good, and then they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Ooh. You think they're going to be very good?
Yeah, I do.
Ooh, okay. Do tell.
They got a quarterback who's very, very talented. Some people may call him Vince Young Jr. He's 6'6". He runs a 4.4. He can throw. He's really good. He has an offensive coordinator, Bobby Petrino, who's, if everybody remember, that's Lamar Jackson's OC. He's legit. Yeah, he might have been an A&M, but that wasn't his offense.
Yeah, no, for sure. That was a Jimbo offense. Anybody that watched A&M knew that was a Jimbo offense.
They have a very talented running back in Quentin Jackson, who was our quarterback.
T.
They have a talented receiver room that's got speed. They got size and they got speed. I ain't gonna cap. Like, I ain't gonna sit here and say, oh no, they got talent. And so you combine that talent with a hatred, a rival hatred. Man, they got a chance to beat us again. Because they got athletes too, and they got size.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well we're going to feel on the road.
And that's fair. Sark hasn't been super stellar on the road his entire tenure at the University of Texas. He was better last season. He was much better last season on the road.
Yeah.
Obviously not even, he didn't lose a true road game last season. So obviously he was better at that last season, but continue what you were saying. Sorry. I just had to point that out.
They're really good. And the crowd's going to be into it. I hope it's not a night game.
It probably will be.
Yeah. I don't like our chances. I don't.
Yeah.
It's like playing Kansas State at night. Like some weird stuff happens.
To be fair though, Kansas State hadn't beat us in like 7 years. So,
but it was a game we shouldn't even been a close game versus Kansas State. But it's always funky stuff happens. It's like playing Oklahoma State on the road. Always something happens.
Always something stupid happens.
Arkansas is better than most people know. I'm telling you now.
Well, and I could definitely see a world in which Arkansas becomes like the Texas Tech, like the thorn in our side. They're not ever actually a real legitimate threat to us in our opinion. But because of that, they end up coming out on top more often than we would like.
Right, and you got a guy coaching for his job too.
Yeah, for sure.
Beating a rival like Texas
that'll save his job.
That'll save your job.
That'll save your job. At Arkansas, that'll save your job real quick.
And so I think that plays a huge part, and we'll see. We'll have to see. But I got us losing to Arkansas because it's on the road. If it was at home, I feel different. But playing on the road,
you got us with 3 losses.
Yeah.
Yikes! Oh my god!
Hey,
I did not go into this episode expecting you to have us with 3 losses.
I had us beating Arkansas first until you just told me we're playing on the road.
What do you mean? I just told you that.
Well, I thought we were playing them at home.
No.
So now I know different. Now I know better.
And it said Arkansas is scary as I hear you, coach. Let's not put that in the universe. Let's not let any Arkansas fans know that somebody thought that we were scared. But I'm not scared. I'm not scared of Arkansas. I definitely think that it could provide some issues for sure. But I
home though. I had us beating Arkansas until I just found we're playing on the road.
Until we just found out. I just found out we were on the road.
I just found out.
But I don't know. I definitely feel like these last 3 games of the season all had the potential to be a quote unquote trap game, because I think that we are the better team. But, you know, you face Arkansas in Fayetteville, and then you have Kentucky.
Right.
In Austin.
Okay.
Which you want to talk about a trap game.
Makes me feel better.
I mentioned Arkansas as kind of a trap game, but say we lose to Arkansas, okay? Then say we lose to Georgia and we lose to Arkansas, okay? Then you're sitting on 2 losses with 2 weeks left of the season, and you still got to go face A&M.
Oh. Okay.
So.
Okay. Dang. Okay. So
that's what I'm saying. You literally have us at 3 losses. That's crazy.
I had us losing to Kentucky until now, because Kentucky's at home. I count Kentucky as my trap game. So I was flip-flopping.
There is no way.
I was flip-flopping Arkansas and Kentucky. Yeah. So
wait. What is your prediction?
Oh, we're gonna beat Kentucky because we're at home.
Okay. So you flipped it because you. Okay.
Yeah. But at first I was like, I don't know.
Us being at home, obviously, I think does provide that added layer of security, in my opinion. You know, home crowd, home base. Our fans are gonna show out. We're gonna I think we've sold out every game already. Is sold out. So, which I think is freaking crazy.
Right.
You know, like that's absolutely insane.
You told me to stop it. I'm just being stating my opinion.
No, that's what I'm saying though. What do you mean? No, because when you said that you had us losing to Arkansas and Kentucky, that would have been 4 losses on the season. I was like, there's no freaking way. Now I feel like you're hating.
No, I'm being honest. It's my opinion. It's my opinion.
It is your opinion.
I had us beating. Okay, I had us beating Arkansas because I thought it was on the road. But I had us lose to Kentucky before we had the show. Right?
Fair enough.
Now this flip, we'll beat Kentucky, and we'll lose Arkansas. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Look, both of those trap games.
No, for sure. Definitely. Absolutely. Especially considering you have Arkansas in Fayetteville, you have Kentucky at home, and then you go finish out the season at Kyle Field at A&M. And that is probably the most emotional game on the schedule this season.
Right.
So, yes, both Arkansas and Kentucky have the opportunity to be major trap games for Steve Sarkisian and the Texas Longhorns, in my opinion. I completely agree.
Y'all don't beat me up too bad for this.
No, I'm not beating you up. I'm just saying that when you first started off with, I had us losing to Kentucky, I about fell out. Because like I said, that's you. I was the way that it was presented at the moment, it seemed like you were saying that we were going to be losing to Arkansas and Kentucky, and I was like,
"Oh no, I wouldn't."
Bro,
I didn't try to say that.
I was like, if that's the case, end the season.
I didn't try to say that. I wasn't trying to say that.
We got it now. We got it. We're on the same page now. We are on the same page. But now that we're down to the final game of the season, Thanksgiving, College Station, Kyle Field, Texas A&M, Lone Star Shootout. For the first time since 2011. For the first time. I just hit my mic stand. I cannot wait. Oh my freaking God. That is going to be a game that I am so excited about. One, because, well, I feel like this is 1, 2, and 3. I'm tired of them talking. Being completely honest.
You tired of them talking?
I'm tired of them talking.
By the way, they'll never see that trophy, but
ever. So for those of you that don't know what Coach just brought up, it did come out that whenever they had Trev Alberts, A&M AD Trev Alberts and Texas AD Chris Del Conte had a national announcement, I guess, that they were announcing the sponsorship of the rivalry. But it did come out that Trev and Chris were kind of talking back and forth about having like a cup that is won between the two schools. And they will never see that cup. Like, that is one of those, like, you're competing with us in Olympic level sports, but you're not sending as many athletes to the Olympics and you're not winning as many medals as us in the Olympics. So it's not necessarily the same thing, but they're the same athletes. So It's like, I'm just going to leave that there because that just doesn't really make any sense. Like it was a big topic of discussion the other day on Twitter, but final game of the regular season, Coach Dub, how do you feel that Texas fares versus them damn Texas A&M Aggies? Coach?
My hands got a little sweaty now. I don't know.
You're building the suspense.
I got Texas losing. It's on the road in a hostile environment. I got Texas losing.
No.
That's my fourth loss.
Nope.
Sorry.
Nope. I completely disagree. I think that A&M is going to have a good season. I think that they have a very favorable schedule. I think that they have the opportunity to actually be playing for something going into that final week of the season, not just, state pride and just to sit here and talk your shit, but a possible playoff opportunity. I think that, with the way that their schedule sets up and the talent that they have on their roster, I do think that it could end up being where they could be fighting for that, 12, 13, 14 spot, So I just feel like that's going to be one of those games that Sark and Quinn and company are going to be prepared for. I know it's going to be a very hostile environment. I know it's going to be a crazy, crazy environment. But I also feel like a lot of the times in very hostile environments, we've seen Quinn thrive. We've seen Quinn really embrace those hostile environments from time to time. So I don't see Quinn being from Texas, knowing the Texas A&M rivalry, knowing the history, knowing what it would mean for the University of Texas to win or lose that game, like knowing what it would mean for us. I don't see us leaving that game with a loss. I honestly, I could see that being the game that Sark has circled on his schedule the most, because you haven't played in over a decade. Both teams have a lot to prove. Both teams talk a lot of shit to each other all the time.
Right.
We haven't stopped talking shit to each other in the past decade.
Mm-mm.
The hatred in this rivalry runs so deep. So deep. So much so that you have A&M fans that want to go to the Big Ten instead of sticking around the SEC just because Texas joined. Like, it's
Look,
not.
That's four losses. I definitely see 4 losses.
And I mean, that's fair. I guess.
I can see us losing 4.
I disagree, but
I know.
I disagree for sure, because I don't see more than I don't see more than 2 losses. My personal opinion. Just because I could, in a perfect world, I could see a loss to Michigan. I could see a loss to Georgia. Oklahoma is a game that you, in theory, could see a loss to, but with Sark being on a revenge tour, I don't see him losing that game. I don't see him allowing OU to get the better of him 2 years in a row like that. I could definitely see, Sark and Venables being like a back and forth ping pong type. Like they just kind of keep tossing that hat back and forth to each other. Because the OU game is one of those games that it always comes down to seconds. It comes down to one play. It comes down to the minute details in the Texas OU game. And so I don't feel like Sark is going to lose that one. So for me, I have us at 10-2 in the conference championship. I'm just saying.
I'm laughing at Victor.
I'm just saying. I do see us 10-2. I could definitely see a world 10-2 and conference championship appearance. I don't necessarily, obviously, depending on the opponent. I think that if say we see Georgia again in around that time, that I think it could end up being one of those situations where we are difficult to beat twice. I'm not sitting here saying that we're going to go into the SEC championship and beat Georgia. I'm just saying that I think that we are going to be one of those teams that it is going to be very difficult to beat us twice. So I don't know. I have pretty high expectations headed into the season, and honestly, 8-4 was not what I was expecting from you. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's low key kind of crazy to me.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you think that, though?
Like, why what?
Why do you think that 4 is can't happen?
It's not that I think that it can't happen. Obviously, anything can happen. Your reasonings for why those losses happened make sense. I get where you're coming from, but I just disagree.
That's fair.
I think Arkansas is going to be a good team. I think it is a very hostile environment. I think we are a better team. I think we're better coached. I think that I do think that. I think we have better talent from top to bottom. They do have some dudes. Right. Don't get me wrong. It's not going to be one of those slack games that you can just kind of waltz through and ignore. But I don't think that I don't see Sark going into Fayetteville and losing like he did last time. I see it being another revenge type of game where he wants to redeem himself for what happened in 2021, because that shit was embarrassing.
Yes.
So, yeah, and this is actually a good point, Evan. I believe we beat UGA. We do not beat them twice. And I could see a world in where that's the case.
I don't think we beat them anytime we play them.
And that's fair.
We're not better than Georgia. They have a better coach. They have a better supporting
staff.
But
you also have to remember the better team doesn't always win. And facing any opponent twice is difficult.
I mean, I hear you.
Especially whenever you have...
But how are we going to even get to Georgia? Because we're going to be a 5th or 6th seed.
No, the championship. The conference championship.
Oh, you think we're making... If we lose that many, we're not making it.
I'm saying 2. I only said 2. You said 4.
For you. My bad. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see.
I'm offended that you have us at 4 losses. That shit's crazy.
I don't know why. Why? Like that's very like that's a 9-4 record, right? 8-4.
8-4.
Yeah, I feel that.
Honestly, I would not. I'm going to be completely honest in sitting here saying, if we go into with everything that's happened over the past year, with how Sark has built this program, with how well he's done on the recruiting trail, with how well we believe how well we feel like he's developed, with how well he's done in the transfer portal, I don't feel like a successful season includes 4 losses. That would be embarrassing. I would not be okay with that at all. Like that is not
embarrassing. It definitely be embarrassing.
Crazy.
Don't get it twisted. But everybody's recruited well. Everybody's developed.
That's not true though. That's not true.
According to 247 Sports, right? Again, how we started this, everybody feels like they got players.
Yeah.
People don't know who Kentucky's receiving core is.
Yeah.
But it's damn near equal to ours, and they just don't know it. They got 2 NFL first-round corners.
And that's probably fair. But I feel like you're kind of giving a lot of credit to the other teams and not giving us enough credit, which I appreciate.
I gave us credit.
Which I can appreciate because I would rather it be a situation where we're sitting here being harder on them than we should be.
Yeah, I give Texas a lot of credit. They're talented. They're deep. We have depth. I do.
4 losses is not giving them a lot of credit. I'm going to be completely honest.
But other teams are good too.
Yeah, for sure. But with our schedule, there's no reason we should lose 4 games.
Okay. So when we have to do this, this got to be weekly. But if we break down a team position by position, I'll open your eyes up to some guys on the other team. You're like, dang.
No, and that's what I'm saying is that it's not about the individual players. It's not about the individual teams. It's not about that.
So what is it about?
I'm just saying that I feel like with the way that what we know about Texas, what we know about how we've prepared and how well we have done, I definitely can see a world where an Arkansas or a Kentucky can cause problems. Mm-hmm. I can definitely see them causing issues. But I think that the way that Sark has grown this program over the past 3 to 4 years is so much different than we've seen previously. And I don't see us taking significant steps back like that. And if we lose 4 games, we've taken significant steps back.
Okay. We could have lost that many last year.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is we didn't. So we could have, but we didn't.
So now we play better teams.
I get that.
We're better coaches and better coaching staffs.
But that's not necessarily true from top to bottom every single week.
I ain't gonna lie. All people besides Vanderbilt, and who else? UTS. Oh yeah, besides Vanderbilt, UTSA, and Colorado State,
and ULM.
And I didn't even count them. See,
that's what I'm saying. Like I genuinely don't feel like we talk a lot of shit and we like to keep it real on this show. But I feel like you're being very hard on us right now. I feel like you are. That's crazy.
I'm just.
I am actually shocked.
I don't know. I don't know what you were expecting out of this. Based on what I know, how I feel, my opinion.
Yeah, no. That's what this is. These are our predictions.
But I hope I'm wrong. Hope they prove me wrong.
See, and this is a perfect question. I definitely feel like we have a better roster this season.
According to who?
Me.
That I'm saying. We lost backs to that hurt.
Yes.
We don't know who the number 1 guy receiver is. I think Silas Bowe's the best receiver.
No, but we're deeper. That's the thing is like we use.
Okay.
There are different. You have different approaches than you had last season. You have to view it. I feel like we have to view it from a different perspective than we did approaching last season.
Okay, cool. Do you have a bunch of different favorite foods? Or colors?
I guess.
Do you ever get like, man, I'm hungry, I don't know which one to go to?
Yeah.
But if you only had 2, you know your favorites to go to, right? Your favorite 3. What I mean by this is Quinn hasn't developed who's the number 1 guy yet. He don't know who to go to in a tight situation. You have to figure it out throughout the season. So we're trying to figure out who his number 1 guy is, or who Sark is telling him who the number 1 guy is. You knew who it was last year. You knew who your 1, 2, and 3 reads are. Like you knew it like clockwork. Now you got to go through this at fast pace and figure out who can I count on.
So basically,
number 1 guy, but he don't catch the ball well.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, you are more of the opinion that we just had, like you're just not as confident as what we had last season. It's not that we aren't as talented. You're just not necessarily as sold as you were last season.
We got to work out the kinks. Because, it looks good on paper. And if I was playing a video game, man, Texas is good. But real life, I got to see those dudes in real life situations get pushed backs against the wall, stressed the whole night, and they haven't done that yet. Versus the team, they're new.
Yeah,
like they're all new. All 3 starting receivers are new.
I get it. Like I said, I understand where you're coming from.
Baxter, which I'm not saying Blue can't play. I'm not saying
I understand where you're coming from. I think I just feel like in those games where you're like, I don't know, I feel like my gut reaction is to give Texas the benefit of the doubt. Yours is to say that we'll lose it, which is fine.
Just show me.
That's fine.
Show me. And
it's
right
like
now,
I said, it just kind of blew my mind a little bit.
It just I don't see it right now, but I mean, hopefully they prove me wrong.
Well, yeah. They better prove you wrong. If we lose 4 games this season, I'm flipping tables.
But prove me wrong. But the other teams are talented too, and
for sure.
I think when you're a fan of a team, you know everything about your team, and there's no way. But if you study the opponents, damn, I didn't know. Well, hold on, let me go back and look. And I think for me, that's what I have done. I went down. I was
no, for sure.
And it's like,
well, but like I said, I just feel like there are a lot of aspects that go into a football game. It's not just who has the better players and who doesn't.
No, yeah,
I it's
agree.
Not just who's better coached and who's not. No, most of the time, the team that goes out there and and establishes their identity, they are well coached, they are well manned.
Yeah,
those are going to be the teams that win. And I feel like a lot of the times coming into this season, I feel like, and like I said, I may be wrong. I may be way wrong, and you could be right, and we lose 4 or 5 games this season, which would be
Whoa! Where the 5th one come from? I guess.
What do you? 4 is crazy, anyways. Why are you making it sound like 5 is just so much crazier?
Yeah, 5 is a lot.
It's not. 4 is insane. I'm sorry. If we lose 4 games this season, that is not a good season for Sark going into
in the SEC. I'll take it for sure.
No, I wouldn't. I don't. Nope. And not even trying to sit. I think we're better than 8-4. I think we're a hell of a lot better than 8-4. So I would be pissed.
I get you. I get why you'd be pissed. I just feel like. Take away players. Let's talk about coaches. I feel like SEC is like high school football in Texas. It's just taken serious. But the support staff, the work that go into preparing for a game, I feel like every game would be almost equally matched talent-wise. Though that's what people don't think. Because they see a logo, that kid's he's not as good because he doesn't play for Texas. And
well, but I don't think it's necessarily that. Well, but I'm not saying personally. I'm not saying personally.
Yeah, but a lot of people see that. They say Kentucky. He plays for Kentucky. Okay, first of all, he wasn't highly rated. If you go look at the recruit, they're not highly rated, but they're just as good. They're just as well coached. The game plan is in, and coaches really ain't scared of Sark. They're just not.
I don't expect coaches
some people
to be scared of Sark, though. That's the
Sark
thing.
Well,
I hold Sark in high regard. I don't expect SEC coaches to be scared of him.
I'm gonna make you sweat that gel out in your hair. That's how I feel as a coach going against Sark. That's how I would feel, and that's how these coaches feel. I'm gonna make you sweat this gel out. I'm gonna make you get on that sideline, bending down, doing this again, like you did against Arkansas. Like those coaches ready for the challenge, and they're just as good.
See, but I disagree that they're just as good. I wildly disagree.
I know you do, but there's some group of 5 coaches that kick Sark ass.
Okay, chill out. Chill.
I ain't lying.
I know you're not lying, but chill out.
Who was the defensive coordinator for Arkansas?
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
That's all I'm saying.
But I get what you're saying.
SEC does, Victor. We're so used to the Big 12 offenses, but look at big SEC offenses. Those players get drafted for a reason. They put up. Yeah, we're about to find out.
Oh, chill out.
I hope they prove me wrong, and I hope we can.
This is turning into a crazy episode. I was sitting here excited.
I'm excited. We did the record prediction. We had our wives.
No, I get it. Like I said, I can logically, I can understand where you're coming from. I do not see it. I don't see it at all. So I think we're just, and hey.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
No, I know. I'm not saying it's not. But at the end of the day.
I look. Up until this last hour, I've really been thinking about it. Like, I've been thinking about it all day. We knew even more today because I knew we had a prediction show coming on. I was like, man, I'm going to be hated after this episode because I'm going to be hated.
You're hating hard.
But at the same time, it's like, yo, why I gotta be sunshine and rainbows and like?
No, that's no. We do not. This show, we do not do sunshine and rainbows on this show. Saying we're only losing 2 games is not sunshine and rainbows. No, sunshine and rainbows would be saying we're going undefeated.
But I was like, man, I actually could see a loss.
But I think you're being a glass half empty type guy, much more so than a lot of people.
I'm not. I know. I'm not trying to be. I just feel like, like.
But like I said, I feel like you're coming from the perspective of you're not giving them the benefit of the doubt. You're giving the opponent the benefit of the doubt. Which is true. No,
I gave Texas benefit of the doubt until I saw the Ross. It's like, oh damn, oh wait.
But that's what I'm saying. So you're not giving Texas the benefit of the doubt. You're giving the benefit of the doubt to the teams that have 1 or 2 good. That's what I'm saying.
What was your first words when you said Arkansas? Arkansas doesn't have a really good team, and it's like, shit. You
don't know, but that's what I'm saying. Is I didn't say Arkansas didn't have a good team. I said I don't think they'll be very good because I don't. That's my opinion.
Why do you think they won't be very good though?
I don't think that Sam Pittman, like you said, is on the hot seat. He has not been able to get it together for the past couple of seasons. Okay. I just don't have faith in Sam Pittman.
Cool.
I don't have faith that he'll be able to put it together. So I don't think they will have a good enough on the field product to be able to beat us even with their environment.
Okay. That's fair. That's very fair.
So that's where my head is at. Like I said, it's just one of those things where, hey, we do not like to sunshine pump on this show. We want to make it true, authentic, real. These are true interactions that we're having. I'm genuinely mind blown that he has us losing 4 games this season. We did not talk about this beforehand, so this is genuine shock.
Yeah, straight up.
This is genuine reaction because I fully did not expect 4 losses. 3, I probably could have guessed. I would have said 3 before 4, honestly. Because I did expect you to be harder on them than I was. But I think 4 losses is crazy. Just because I think that 4 losses means that we took a very, very significant step backwards, and I don't think we did.
I'm not saying that, Victor. No. Texas still goes to the playoffs, man. I think Texas
with 4 losses?
Yeah.
There's.
Yeah, I think they go for playoffs 4 losses. The only reason I say that is I think that there'd be a higher seed, but I think they go because you're in the SEC. I think they'll still be 3rd. Yeah, I think they'll still go.
I don't think we get in the playoffs with 4 losses. If we're losing to Arkansas and Kentucky Kentucky, either or.
Look.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if that's the game that we're losing, or say if we lose 4 losses, with our schedule, if we lose 4 losses, there is no playoff for us. I completely disagree.
Well, shit. See you in January, then.
Hey, see you. Hey, we'll be on this show Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, every single Monday, because I don't see that at all. I don't see any, not even just Texas. I don't see any 4-loss team being in the playoff.
Maybe you're right.
That's crazy.
Maybe I'm a little harsh, but I don't know. That's just what I see so far.
That's fair. Like I said,
I think the whole fan base would be shocked and be hurt. But
by the entire season?
If we went 8-4,
if we go 8-4, we will be. I'll be pissed. Like the entire fan base. It's not even just shock that we will be pissed.
Yeah,
because there's no. Honestly, looking at our schedule the way that it is, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for us losing 4 games, in my honest opinion.
It's that. Looking at our schedule is harder than most people think.
I can see where you're coming from with that, but I think that overall we are a better team. We just are.
That's what you think. That's your opinion. I can't take it away from you because you don't know the other rosters and teams. I think that's the thing.
Yes, I do. I know rosters and teams. Like we don't have to.
So you think we're a better team than?
No, stop. No.
Victor, stop it. I didn't say anything about the Alamo Bowl. Chill, man. We can go to the Texas Bowl, man. Chill out. Holiday Bowl. No, that's not a thing anymore. Cotton Bowl, Victor. Chill out, man. I didn't say the Alamo Bowl, dude. We're not going to the Alamo Bowl. Chill out. Chill, man.
We are going to get so much hate on this video.
No, they'll love me. They love it. Hey, people don't like Stephen A. Smith either. You know, so I'm good with it.
For good reason.
Because he don't like the Cowboys, yeah.
It's not even because of the Cowboys. Anyways, we're not even gonna get into that. We're not even gonna get into that. But hey.
4.
Hey, no.
Feel bad about my pick now.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad. If you feel bad, that's your conscience. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I'm just saying I think you're crazy. So that's where I think we're gonna end it because that's crazy. Like hey, I'm telling you, I'm genuinely shocked. Yes,
Victor, people ask. Victor knows.
Wild.
Victor knows me. Victor knows me. He knew what I was gonna say. He knew what I was gonna say.
But
Victor knew.
Thank you guys so much for joining in on this longer episode of LacedUp Live. We really, really appreciate you guys coming in every single Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. You can follow me right here on it's over here. On my Twitter right here. Coach Dubs is right over there as well. I also have a very, 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 very exciting news. I have a fantasy football league with Locker. Thank you so much to Locker for reaching out to me and allowing me to create my own league. But Locker is a brand new fantasy football app that is basically reinventing fantasy football. It is combining your love of fantasy football and following all of your favorite players with your own intuition as a football fan. You know, you can, throughout the entire season, you go through each game and there's trivia questions. Each game, each drive, you will be able to answer a trivia question and gain points, earn points every single time you get a right answer. And throughout the entire season, you will build points. And at the end of the season, there's a $750 payout, everybody. So get your money's worth. It's going to be so much fun. Please come join in. Get laced up at Locker. We really, really appreciate you guys coming in every single Monday. Coach Dub, where can they find you?
Yeah, find Coach Williams II on Twitter. You can find me at Inside Texas there every single day. Come get some of this good news, some of this good info. Come holler at us. Come bash me on the boards if you can.
I was about to say, come tell him how wrong he is for 4 losses.
I'm all for it.
Hey, honestly, you're either going to be very right or very wrong. So, and same. So I only have us at 2 losses. So it's one way or the other. But again, thank you guys so much for joining in. We really, really appreciate you guys for joining in Laced Up Live every single Monday. Catch me on Laced Up Live every Monday and Locked On Longhorns. Thank you so much. Hook 'em horns. Appreciate you guys. Where's my... I'm working on it. We're working on ending it. It's Monday. Hook 'em, y'all.
Defense flying to the ball like vultures. Y'all got to pray. Shoot it out like John Wick. Tell me what y'all hate for. And I'm finna run a blitz on you like I'm J4. Standing on this championship trophy, I'm like 8'4". Had to do it big. This is